Well, the thing that really kind of took me from being an extreme skeptic to being a believer in Bigfoot, I would say just hearing the stories from our guide, Troy, hearing the passion and seeing the passion in his eyes and in his voice, just really, I don't know, it resonated with me.
I grew up around here, and I remember things as a kid. I remember hearing stories. I had a few experiences that later, after I got into this, I realized that may have been what I was experiencing at that time, and realized I knew a little bit more about the topic than what I had thought. Why I chose to do it down here is when you see there, like the eye shine and we can talk about eye shine later, but like the eye shine and stuff, there's no misidentifying it because we're below the ridge where you just came. Well, actually, you came from back over there, but my closest encounter, we had set some apples out in a little clump of cedar trees, and the next morning we went over there, and we just look around, and I stepped in through the fence and into the little clove of cedar trees, and there was a little small opening, a little clearing. And I moved over there because that's where the apples were, and I went through the cedars and kind of noticed that there was an apple, that there was a big bite. Now, how you and I eat an apple, they kind of have the apple and from top to bottom, and they typically take a bite from the top to the bottom out of that. And so I heard movement in the cedar trees behind me, and I turned to my side and said, "Hey, Dennis, come look at this. They took a bite out of the apple." Well, he didn't answer me. So then because I was kneeling down, I kind of spun back around and turned and said, "Hey, Dennis." So then I stood up and I kind of started looking around, and then the cedar tree that I heard to my right, when I turned around, that cedar tree it shook. So I kind of backed up, and I heard him say, "Stay there." I was like, "Okay." Then he goes, "It's okay now." I'm thinking, okay. He goes, "Yeah, one was standing right there, probably about 6-7 feet from you, just peeking over the cedar tree at you." And I said, "Well, I never even saw him."
That's what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm romancing the homeboy. Romancing Bigfoot.
First encounter that I had while we were here, and our guide he was kind of taking us around when it was light out, and I kind of excused myself and kind of went off to the side, kind of out of sight a little bit, and I just, being blunt, I was relieving myself.
Fish heard something over there. Seriously. Some fish is using the restroom. No, yeah, there's no shame in that.
Using the restroom, and I heard something that sounded like a big rock, big rock, like it landed and like hit and bounced a couple of times, like out in the woods. And I was like, "What?" And so Troy came walking this way, and I said, "When you say they throw rocks, what size rocks?" He goes, "Little ones, big ones." Troy had told us earlier in the day that Bigfoot is known for tossing stones or throwing rocks, not necessarily at people, but in their general direction. I guess that was my first opportunity to have a chance for Bigfoot to say hi. We didn't see anything, but I definitely do believe that was my first opportunity to have an encounter with Bigfoot.